Hi everyone, Julie here from the Time and Space Chronicles, saving you time by telling you about all the best spaces. Today's topic is Inked in Japan, a complete guide to collect commemorative stamps in Japan. There are multiple types of stamps you can collect in Japan. When I say stamps, I'm talking about an ink stamp, not a postage stamp. The first type of stamp is referred to as an Eki stamp. Eki most commonly means train station or railway station in Japanese. That is where they started in 1931 at the Fuiki station. Now, almost all trains and even subway stations have them. The stamps are unique to each and usually feature something related to a nearby area, like a landmark, mascot, or local specialty. They have now expanded much further than train stations. You can find them at most tourist attractions across Japan. For example, the Tokyo Skytree has one of them at the top. Here are some of the ones I collected on my visit to Japan. You can see that some of came out better than others. I learned a trick and got better at it as the trip went along. What you need to do is tap the stamp all over the ink pad, not just in one spot, because some spots of the ink pad get dried out. I found I got a much better quality when I did this. Now, if you're wondering how you can collect Eki stamps, this is the easiest type of stamp to collect, as all you need is paper. Any type of paper. I recommend a notebook. Here are the ones I used before my trip. The one on the left I bought before the trip, and the one on the right I bought in Japan because I was running out of pages in my other book. I noticed that if the paper has a little texture, you'll get a better stamp than if the paper is really smooth. The next type of stamps we are going to talk about are Goshuin. A Goshuin literally translates to an honorable red seal or stamp, consisting of bright red stamps combined with dynamic black ink calligraphy. It serves as a sacred proof of visit and a spiritual connection to a Shinto shrine or Buddhist temple. The practice originated in Nara and Helene periods, which was 710 to 1185, as a receipt given to worshippers who painstakingly hand copied Buddhist scripture and dedicated them to the temple. Since these are more than a souvenir and are treated as a sacred talisman or a personal token of worship, there is much more etiquette to getting them, and you should only collect them if you are willing to follow these cultural practices. The first thing you need to know is that you cannot collect Goshuin on just any paper or notebook. You need a Goshuin Chu, which translates to an honorable red seal book, and it is a specially designed blank journal used exclusively for collecting Goshuin. They are structured very different from standard notebooks to accommodate the wet ink and heavy stamps. They are accordion style. Here are the ones I had for my trip. You can purchase these online before your trip or at almost every large temple or shrine in Japan. So you might be wondering why I had multiple books. I only used two books. I used one for Buddhist temples and one for Shinto shrines. Some people will combine both in a book, and while most temples and shrines do not mind that, some will. Remember that Buddhism and Shinto are different religions. The fundamental difference between Shinto and Buddhism lies in their origin points. Shinto is an indigenous animalistic faith native to Japan, while Buddhism is an imported philosophical religion originating in India. So, how can you tell them apart? In a Buddhist temple, the main gate is called a Shanman gate and is a massive roofed wooden gated structure, often housing wooden guardian statues. You will also see statues of Buddha displayed, and there'll be large bronze incense burners, pagodas, and a large bronze bell hung in a tower most often. Shinto shrines have the main entrance as a torii gate, which is a large, simple wooden or stone archway, often painted bright red, but not always. It marks the boundaries to sacred ground. You will often see straw ropes, zigzag paper strips, and a stone fox or lion dog's guardian statues. My husband preferred the shrines over the temples. Do you have a preference? Let me know in the comments. A few more tips about Goshuin. If you decide to collect them, they are not free like Iki stamps. Goshuin usually cost between 500 to 1,000 yen depending on if they are special editions. Some are pre-printed and some they will write directly into your book. It is usually the busier temples and shrines that will give you a pre-printed or for special events. Here are some examples of the ones I got on my trip. You can see the gold one that I got on the bottom right was pre-printed. It was for the fire festival that we attended. Look for the symbol that looks like an EP on maps or signs to find where you go for Goshuin. A few more tips. Remember to hand your book with two hands to the person at the window and open to the page you want them to use. When you pay, you put the money in the tray, don't just hand it directly to the person. Just try to be respectful, watch what the Japanese people are doing, and try to mirror that. If you want to know more about Goshuin, there are a lot of Facebook groups and apps that show what Goshuins are offered at different locations. Message me and I can send you the links. There are a few more types of stamps you should know about. The special commemorative stamps found at Japanese castles and airports are part of a highly popular collector's culture modeled directly after Goshuin's system, but designed purely as travel souvenirs rather than sacred religious items. Castle stamps are the special stamps collected at Japan's historic fortresses and are called gojuin or gojoin, literally honorable castle seals. Much like the regular Goshuin, they feature stylized black calligraphy naming the castle overlaid on top of vibrant red ink stamps. However, instead of divine symbols, the red stamps prominently feature the family crest of the samurai lords who historically ruled that specific castle and are almost always sold as pre-printed sheets for around 300 to 500 yen. You simply purchase them at the castle ticket booth or local gift shop and glue them into a dedicated castle stamp book later. I did not collect any of these on my trip. Please remember, do not mix them with your books for temples and shrines. This is very disrespectful. Similarly, airports also have the commemorative aviation stamps found at Japan's airports and major airline lounges, and they are widely known as sorerin, literally sky seals. These stamps celebrate Japan's aviation culture. They usually feature sweeping brush calligraphy of the airport's name and date and distinctive red stamp silhouettes of airplanes, runways, local landmarks, or airline tail fins. Like castle stamps, these are sold as beautiful individual souvenir sheets at airport, information desks, terminal gift shops, and domestic airline lounges. Again, do not put these in your temple or shrine books. You can combine them, however, with the castle stamps if you like. One last thing to mention. Stamp rallies in Japan are an interactive collective game where participants travel to specific locations such as train stations, tourist sites, and parks to stamp a booklet or sheet of paper. They turn sightseeing into a fun scavenger hunt with rewards. Some special events or regional booklets cost a small fee of 300 to 1,000 yen. These usually mean you get a small physical prize for finishing the rally. We didn't try to complete any of them, but when I saw a stamp for one, I did put it in my Eki stamp book. I know that the castles have one. A lot of them were anime or Pokemon themed that I saw. There are also digital rallies, and those are modern events using smartphone apps or QR codes to collect virtual stamps instead of ink stamps. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you found it interesting. Please comment below if you've collected stamps. Also, let me know what topics you would like me to cover next. If you're interested in traveling to Japan or anywhere else, I'd be happy to help you plan your travels. Please message me to get started. Also, if you haven't watched my other videos, please check those out. Thanks.